Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we are here to answer a question, and that question is, who are the best directors of all time? Well, I have my top 15, and we're going to rank them, and I'm going to show you my favorite movie from each and every one of them. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so best directors of all time. This is my list. I'm going to rank them. I have 15 here. I could have had more, but you got to cut it off somewhere. I'm going to share my favorite, or at least my favorite one or two movies from each and every one of them. And I've got this question a lot, and I'm sure it's going to be heated in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be some surprises on here. But let's jump right in and rank them. I'm going to start with a surprise. At number 15 is Mel Gibson. Listen, Braveheart is my favorite that he directed. And honestly, you could just put Braveheart and The Passion of the Christ on here as directorial efforts. Hacksaw Ridge. I mean, he's quality director, and I love those movies. Braveheart is my favorite. Passion of the Christ. He's going to do the Resurrection next. He's one of my favorite actors. I absolutely love it. This movie right here, Braveheart, I mean, winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. He's a hell of a director. He is insanely talented, and actually not Australian. A lot of people don't know that, but he was actually born in New York. Didn't move to Australia until way later. So I think he was in it, maybe in his early teens when they moved there, and then he spent so much time there, he kind of had the accent a little bit. But love Mel Gibson. A lot of people don't think about him, but some of his movies are absolutely epic, and usually when he directs a big epic film, it hits the mark. So Braveheart and Mel Gibson come in at number 15 on my favorite directors list, who I think are some of the best of all time. Now, number 14 is going to be one that really surprises you. This guy he's maybe better known overall as a creator, a writer. He is most of the reason that Marvel Phase 1 did so well. But my favorite creation of his and favorite thing that he directed, I'm talking about Joss Whedon at number 14 and Buffy the Vampire Slayer as my favorite. Now, he created and directed this show. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm probably going to do that video as well, favorite TV shows. But if you didn't know, he also directed the Avengers Part 1 and Part 2. So Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. He also wrote a lot of the Marvel Phase 1 movies, or rewrote a lot of those movies. He's the one that planned the footage to be like a lot of the one that tied in all of the movies. He had the blueprint through Endgame. A lot of that's on Joss Whedon. When Joss Whedon left, that's the point where the MCU started going down. And it's because they didn't have Joss Whedon in there. You didn't have Jon Favreau in there anymore the same way. But it was really Whedon and him kind of pulling it together. He really knows how to direct an ensemble. Everything he did is ensemble. Buffy, Angel, Firefly, Serenity, the Marvel Universe, they're ensembles. He's really good at directing that. He's a really good writer, director. One of my favorites as a creator, but because he's not just a director, not just a film director, he's a bit lower down on the list, but an insanely talented guy. I believe he also wrote Toy Story. So go back and check him out. Dude knows what he's doing. One of my favorites, just a talented overall guy. If he was just the director, he'd probably be higher up on the list, but he's a little lower down. Matter of fact, he could have been below Mel Gibson. But Buffy is just one of my all-time favorite shows, so it bumps him up a little higher. Joss Whedon coming in at number 14. At number 13, you guys are going to be shocked to find this one this low. And this is just how I feel about it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Number 13 is Martin Scorsese. I know a lot of you expect him to be way higher on the list. I am just not a huge crime drama, gangster drama guy. Now, my favorite film of his, I actually only have on DVD. My DVDs are in flip cases now, for the most part. So I had to write myself a note to remember I didn't have a copy out here, but I do have it. My favorite movie of Martin Scorsese's is Gangs of New York. And then Wolf of Wall Street is right there. Of course, you've got Goodfellas, Casino. He's an insanely talented director. There's no doubt about it. But for me, the genre of his movies I just don't, I have to be in the right mood to watch them. And a lot of things that he does actually feel very similar to each other. I think that's why like Gangs of New York and Wolf of Wall Street stick out to me so much because they feel different. I really love them. They're kind of period pieces, sort of. And they're my favorite of his. Martin Scorsese, a legend, comes in at number 13. Now, at number 12 is one that you're also probably not thinking about, but he is an amazing writer, director, and incredible actor. He's an absolute legend, Sylvester Stallone. I know. And listen, for the one I picked for this, his director is Rocky 3. I could have gone Rocky 2. I could have gone Rocky 4. I could have gone Rambo 2008. I could have gone Expendables. I could have gone a lot. Rocky 3, of the original like 3 movies, 3 and 4 just feel so very 80s to me. I could have picked any. Rocky is my favorite probably franchise of all time. Rocky, maybe not favorite franchise. It's close. It's close. But Rocky is my favorite movie of all time. That was done by John Avildsen, who did The Karate Kid. But Stallone did 2, 3, 4. I could have picked any of them. But, he is an Academy Award winning, Academy Award nominated actor, Academy Award winning writer, like all this kind of stuff. Dude is super talented. I love Stallone. A lot of people don't think about all the things that he directed. He also did, what am I forgetting here? I think I wrote a couple down because, Staying Alive. Like that's another one you don't think of that is Stallone, but it is. He directed it. I think he's just an overall super talented dude. Deserves to be on this list. I'm a huge Rocky fan. Rambo, love it. Sylvester Stallone comes in at number 12 on this list. Now, at number 11 on this list is one that I have talked about a lot on this channel. I am a big fan of the Dirty Dutchman, Paul Verhoeven. I love Verhoeven. Coming in at number 11, you're talking about RoboCop. It's so touch and go on what's my favorite of his. RoboCop. You got Total Recall. I love. I'm a huge Arnold fan. You've got Starship Troopers, of course. You've got Hollow Man. You got Basic Instinct, Showgirls. Verhoeven, Flesh Plus Blood. Verhoeven is awesome. I am a huge Verhoeven fan. But RoboCop, man, when I was younger and this movie came out, this thing was just epic, legendary. I had to have the Nintendo game, all that kind of stuff. I loved RoboCop. I still do. I love the satire he puts in his movies. They're very, very easily identifiable as Verhoeven films to me. I think he's severely underrated. He has to be on this list for me because I love Paul Verhoeven. He comes in at number 12. All right, number 11. Number 10 on this list is one that you're probably going to think should be higher, but he's in the top 10 of what I consider all time. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. Number 10 is Quentin Tarantino, and my favorite film of his, unquestioned, is Once Upon a Time. Now, I did my full Tarantino rankings list. You can find that. I love Once Upon a Time. I think it is perfect storytelling, perfect filmmaking. Absolutely love this movie. Tarantino, his dialogue, unmistakable. He's going to write and direct stuff, which I love. I want to see at least the one more film from him. What are you going to say? Stuff is easily identified as Tarantino. There's just a touch to it. The dialogue, the shooting, all that stuff. It is very Tarantino. Once Upon a Time is my favorite of his. I think he has to be on any best directors list, especially if you're doing one that's 10 or 15 long. I mean, maybe not in the top 5, but Tarantino definitely in a class over here by himself. Very different. I love Tarantino. He comes in at number 10. Now, at number 9 on the list is one that I have talked about a lot on here, and I realized more and more as I watched movies how big of a fan I am of this director. I am talking about Walter Hill. And my favorite film of his might surprise you. It's Crossroads. Now, he's got The Warriors. He's got 48 Hours. He's got Southern Comfort. He's got Brewster's Millions. Lots of movies that I just absolutely love. Walter Hill has Red Heat, another underrated Schwarzenegger film. But Crossroads so inspired me that it inspired my creation of a movie, Dark Road 79. I love this movie. I think it's one of the most underrated, under-talked about movies out there. If you have not seen it, Ralph Macchio, Joe Seneca deals with the whole Robert Johnson, Crossroads, deal with the devil, all that stuff. Great music, great vibes. Walter Hill was very diverse, or is very diverse in the stuff that he makes. And damn it, I dig it all, man. I haven't found anything that Walter Hill has done that I don't love, but I will never find one that I love more than this one. I found this at the theater as a kid. Me and my uncle went and saw it, and we played this so much, it definitely inspired me. That puts it high on the list. Walter Hill coming in at number 9. Now, at number 8 on the list is a classic. I absolutely love this, and he is the director. This director is a director of one of my favorite films of all time. And I am talking about Frank Capra, and my favorite is It's a Wonderful Life. This is in my top 25 favorite films of all time. I love Frank Capra outside of It's a Wonderful Life, which I think is one of the best films ever made. He's got It Happened One Night, which is probably the basis for most all rom-coms that you're ever going to see. So that is a big thing. But he also has like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Pocket Full of Miracles. You could go on and on. There's a whole huge box set of Frank Capra. Stuff that is very, once you get into watching Frank Capra, you identify this feel about his movies that's just there. And I absolutely love it. It's a Wonderful Life. Frank Capra had to be on the list. He comes in at number 8. Now, at number 7 on the list is one that a lot of people don't think about. He hasn't done anything in a really long time. I do not care. He is one of my favorite. He has put out some of my favorite films of all time. I am talking about John McTiernan. I absolutely love him. And my favorite, now this was a hard one to do my favorite, but maybe one of my favorite films of all time, like a top 5 favorite film of all time. My favorite of his, I'm actually going to go with The Predator. Now, I could take Die Hard with a Vengeance, Last Action Hero, 13th Warrior, Hunt for Red October. Dude has laid out some absolute bangers, but Predator is one of the best action films ever made. So is Die Hard. Die Hard with a Vengeance is good. Like, it is hard. Last Action Hero, way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. I love these movies. I love the sensibilities that he puts in. He went with the whole Christmas theme, and all that kind of stuff. He like when in Die Hard, he talked about how that kind of overtook him, and they put more of that in than was initially kind of going to be there. I like all that. There is just a tightness, a crispness. I mean, he just has his finger on what makes good action. Predator is just one of the best action movies, one of the best films of all time, period. It has everything. It's a tight script. There's really not much you can criticize about it, even if you don't like action movies. It's got everything in it. But when you go through the list and you got Predator, you got Die Hard with a Vengeance, Last Action Hero, Hunt for Red October, 13th Warrior, yada, man, you're one of the best. You can't create that many iconic films as a director and not be one of the best. Predator is at the top of that list. I had to have John McTiernan on here. He comes in at number 7. Now, at number 6 on the list is one that is kind of a comedy director, and it's hard for them to get noticed as much, but I'm going to tell you right now, directing good comedy is one of the hardest things you can do. When you're directing comedy or horror, you're trying to elicit a involuntary response from the audience, being scared, terrified, or laughing and having a good time, and all of that kind of stuff, amusement. Pulling those out from people, that's hard because you're trying to do it basically against their will, so to speak. So to be a good comedy director is a hard damn thing. One of my favorite all-time, he has one of my top 5 favorite all-time films in here. I am talking about Ivan Reitman. And I got to go with Ghostbusters. Now, he directed Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2. I love this from Blockbusters box sets, my slip for the 4K Steelbook. But besides Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2, you had Stripes, another one of my favorite films of all time, especially when you're talking comedies. You got Stripes, you got Meatballs, Twins, one of my favorite, just super underrated Arnold movies. I think the movie that Arnold's made the most money off of in his career is Twins. But he also did things like Dave and Evolution, which is a fun sci-fi comedy. Kindergarten Cop, another excellent Schwarzenegger movie. I mean, all that together, and that's not even everything. That's just some. He is one of my favorites. Ghostbusters, one of my favorite movies of all time. Of course, Stripes is up there. Twins. You got to have, if somebody has that many movies like that are that good, that have stood the test of time like that, they have to be on the list. Being a comedy director is hard enough. I give Ivan Reitman a high spot on this list at number 6. Who you gonna call, baby? Ivan Reitman. Rest in peace. Now, at number 5 on the list is somebody who works with somebody else on this list a lot. And he just kind of has that sort of old school Hollywood, Disney, Universal magic about things that he does. Old school movies. And I am talking about number 5, Robert Zemeckis. Now, there was only one choice. I had to go Back to the Future, right? But when you're talking about Zemeckis, you got Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. You've got Romancing the Stone. You got Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You got Forrest Gump. You got Death Becomes Her. You've got What Lies Beneath, Castaway, Contact. Dude is a legend. He even wrote the movie Beverly Hills or Bordello of Blood. The Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood. Dude, all kinds of stuff. Robert Zemeckis just has that universal, old school movie studio, movie feel magic about him. There's some sort of atmosphere around his movies. Best encapsulated by Back to the Future, but all of these films, so many bangers that I absolutely love. And another director that people probably don't think about when they think about best directors of all time, but then they start thinking about some of their favorite movies, and they're like, oh shit, that guy did it, that guy did that. So it's not just about artsy fartsy, who's the most whatever, cinematic, pretentious, pinky up director with all this kind of vision. Who makes the best movies that you love to watch? That's the most important thing. Robert Zemeckis, I mean, I've said it before, Back to the Future is like peanut butter for the soul. It is just a feel-good comfort movie. He made a lot of those, a lot of them that we all still love. Robert Zemeckis comes in at number 5. Now, following that up is another guy that kind of did the same thing, and a lot of people don't think about this guy when they think about best directors of all time. But I am talking about Richard Donner at number 4. Now, listen, I didn't pull a lot of these I had on DVD. I didn't pull because he did everything from Lethal Weapon to Goonies to Superman to Scrooged to Maverick. And how am I supposed to pick between Goonies and Lethal Weapon? So if we want to talk Goonies, I guess I could give the nod to Goonies because it meant so much to me for so long, but so does Lethal Weapon. But again, when somebody puts out that many bangers that are just iconic to you, like Lethal Weapon, like Goonies, Superman, Scrooged, that's a yearly classic every year for me. Maverick, loved seeing that with my dad. Absolutely just love Richard Donner. So that doesn't even scratch the surface. He had to be on the list for me. And his films all have a certain feel to them, too. If you watch Goonies, watch Lethal Weapon, watch Scrooged, they have a certain color, a look, a shot design, all that kind of stuff. You can tell Richard Donner did those movies. So I absolutely love that. Love Richard Donner. Great films. He had to be on this list. Goonies and Lethal Weapon, it's hard to split those apart, but Richard Donner comes in on this list at number 4. Now, at number 3 on this list is another one who I didn't pull anything for because I just fought back and forth with myself. But at number 3 is James Cameron. And what do? Like, I'm looking over here and I have the Terminator 2. I've got True Lies. I've got Aliens. What do you pull? I'm going to go ahead and say Terminator. Not T2, the Terminator, the first one. I still think that is my favorite. It's the most like a horror movie. But I love James Cameron. You can even see his fingerprints on Point Break. Of course, this just scratches. I'm not the biggest fan of Avatar like everyone else. But Terminator 2, True Lies, Aliens, those alone would be enough to put him on this list this high. You're talking about epic all-timers right there. I love James Cameron. I love that a lot of people find him too hard. He's a hard ass. Oh, he takes our cell phones, nails them to the wall. He's this, he's that. Dude knows what he wants. He's old school. If you can't take it, stop being soft and go back to your basement, right? But you know what? He just comes from a different school, and he's a no-nonsense director. He even told Arnold off and made Arnold say the "I'll be back" line the way he wanted because he knew better than Arnold did. And I'm a huge Arnold fan. And Arnold argued with him and lost, and it's a good thing because "I will be back" doesn't sound as good or as iconic as "I'll be back." You know, and I love Cameron. I don't care what you say. He's a hard ass, whatever. A lot of people think they know a lot better than him now. No, you don't. No, you don't. He knows more about filmmaking in this pinky than most of us are ever going to know. He is a great filmmaker, great director, and for me, I mean, come on, you got Titanic. I didn't even mention Titanic yet. But for me, he comes in. James Cameron's got to be this high. He comes in at number 3. Now, at number 2 on the list is one that I got to be honest, I swap the movies back and forth because I think there's a difference between my favorite and most iconic and the best. I think it's hard to pick, but coming in at number 2 for me, get ready. It's John Carpenter. And I picked Halloween and I picked my old classic Slip here, but it could easily be The Thing. And I actually swapped these back and forth out because I actually think that's probably technically the best movie he's made as a director. This one's probably the most iconic and overall maybe more fun to watch again and again, just from a fun, I can watch that standpoint. But I don't know how you separate the two, right? And just those two alone, but then you have They Live, which for a long time I considered to be my favorite Carpenter movie. And then you have other films like The Fog, which is absolutely epic. Escape from New York. There's no way that John Carpenter can't be on this list. And there's no way he should be in everybody's top 5. I don't see how he's not in everybody's top 5. Just absolutely incredible. I had to fight with myself, but Carpenter for me comes in at number 2 all time. I absolutely love John Carpenter. I love that he's a no bullshit, no nonsense, no pretentious type of guy, calls out other people being pretentious, calls out the crappy horror movies that are made today that people fawn over because they don't know any better. I love it. I love these crotchety bastard and tells it like it is. I love Carpenter, love his movies. Maybe not The Ward, but most everything. He deserves to be this high. John Carpenter coming in at number 2. Now, before I get to number 1, I want to throw out some that are kind of honorable mentions. I'm going to say David Lynch. I really just started diving into David Lynch, so I can't put him up that high yet, but I love what he does. I understand him now, I believe, like I didn't used to understand him. And so he's in there. Sam Peckinpah. I love Convoy. I love Straw Dogs. I really like The Wild Bunch, and I got into Peckinpah. I've told the story. Marty Cove, Sensei Kreese from Karate Kid, when he was doing my movie Bring Me a Dream, he said that the way I write and the way I direct reminded him of Peckinpah. He called me his young Peckinpah. That started me down the road of Sam Peckinpah. So I want to throw an honorable mention at Peckinpah. And another one is Brian De Palma. I've really got into his filmography, and Body Double has... When I do my yearly top 25 favorite movies as they change and I change over time, Body Double will go from being unheard of to it may be on that list. That's how much I like Body Double. And I really have been enjoying diving into De Palma. I'll probably do a whole dedicated video on him, so I wanted to make sure that I mentioned him. And, of course, people like Stanley Kubrick, The Shining, Barry Lyndon, 2001 Space Odyssey, and John Milius. I love Milius. Red Dawn, Conan. I love these guys too. Maybe they don't have as many different movies that I love, but Kubrick is outstanding. They got to be mentioned. It's hard to separate these guys because they start doing so much different stuff. But that brings us to our number 1, and for me, that was never a question. This guy represents everything that old Hollywood that I love so much, old classic storytelling, old filmmaking, back when the studios were grand and larger than life and really cared about making movies that were good and all that kind of stuff. He just was Hollywood to me growing up. And I am, of course, talking about Steven Spielberg. He is my number 1 favorite director of all time. And movies-wise, I got 2 here. I'm going to shock you. My favorite of his all time, I really do believe, is Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Now, Harrison Ford is my favorite actor of all time. Indiana Jones is probably my favorite franchise. I absolutely love Indiana Jones. And I love Raiders of the Lost Ark too, but there's something about this one that I always just thought was just so damn awesome. But you cannot talk Spielberg without talking about Jaws. Whether you like it or not, or whether you're tired of hearing people, it's the reason the word blockbuster exists the way it is today. This movie is literally a perfect film. It's a perfect film. You can argue about, but from a filmmaking and storytelling standpoint, you can't get more perfectly done than Jaws. It's just how it is. They're 2 of my favorites, but you have Last Crusade, but you also have Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm not the biggest Temple of Doom fan. That's 3rd for me out of the original 3 by far. But you have those 3. Jurassic freaking Park. Okay, Jurassic Park movies. Hook. The Hook brings you back, baby. Steven Spielberg, Duel. He is Hollywood. He represents everything that the good old filmmaking when Hollywood was magic. Spielberg represents that to me because he didn't just direct these movies and work on these movies. He worked on a lot of your favorite movies all time, like the Back to the Future movies, because he worked with Zemeckis a lot. So for me, there is no question. It is Steven Spielberg, the greatest director of all time. And did I mention he did E.T.? Did I mention that? And he really pretty much did Poltergeist too. So Steven Spielberg, number 1, represents all of what great old school filmmaking, beautiful Hollywood was to me and is to me, and everything that it should get to be again and isn't. But that is my list. Let the arguing begin. Who are your favorite? Give me your top 3, your top 5, what you consider to be the top 3 or 5 best directors of all time. Let me know what you think of my list. That's what I got for you this time. I hope you enjoyed it. We do everything here: lists, rankings, 4K reviews, physical media news, all that kind of stuff. Those big recommendations lists that everybody loves that I do. We do it all from a fan and filmmaker's perspective. Hey, I'm a director too. Not in these guys' league, but that is what I do. I write and direct. And I love movies. I love talking about it all with you. If that sounds like your jam, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to help support what we do here, you can join at my YouTube channel, or I'd recommend that you join at my Patreon link. Become a member, get your name in lights on every single video, behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, and so much more. And of course, I can just do more on Patreon. I don't have to worry about YouTube stuff, uncensored looks at films, things like that I can do there. And I really do appreciate it. It means so much to me. And until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
I know.